Alright guys, they want to start working on this little Mazda, and I'm not really sure what's wrong with it. As you can see, it's running pretty rough. So I'm going to close the hood, we're going to take this barn and put it in the shop. Okay, I had to disconnect the choke. I couldn't hook it back up because the line was frayed, but hope y'all can hear what's going on. This idling pretty good. As soon as I get some gas and give some load, it ain't got power for shit. Look at that. Woo. I mean, it ain't idling great, nothing like that. Sounds like, holy damn it. I drove this back from work like this. It's almost 20 miles from here to work. And it just did it coming into work. As soon as I got into the main drive of where I work, it started doing this. So that evening I had to drive it all the way home like this. You can imagine going through town. But anyway, we're gonna get out and get this gate open and get this thing in the shop. Alright guys, got her backed in, and whoo, she's running rough. But when it first happened, I got home, I took the valve cover off because I thought maybe one of the rock arms or something broke, but I didn't see anything wrong with the valve train on top. But I had to take my accelerator cable and choke cable off this little Weber carburetor here, and I think when I put it back on, I got my accelerator cable too far back, and now it's really giving a lot of gas. But anyway, some symptoms, and I can't open this radiator right now, it's still hot, but some symptoms I was having before this occurred was I was losing antifreeze. And when I got this truck, we'll give you a little history on it. I bought it off eBay. I went to Kentucky or Tennessee one and picked it up. It was running, but it was running rough. I replaced the carb. I put new headers on it, did away with all this emission stuff, and I rebuilt, basically went through the engine except for the top end, because the top end, it looked like it might have been a junkyard engine, so I mean a junkyard head. So I went through, put new rings and bearings in it. I didn't have to bore it. It was good enough for that. And that was about 156,000 miles had on it at that time. And it's got 192,000 on it now. So almost 40,000 miles I've got on it. Put a new water pump, new timing belt, all that on it at that time. And it's been a good little running truck, to tell you the truth. I had to do a lot of little nitpicky work to it, replace clutch cylinders and a lot of brake work to it and all that. So as far as the engine goes, after I rebuilt it, it's been running pretty good. Now what I've got is a new, not a new head, but a supposedly rebuilt head. It looks like it's been rebuilt a little while. Of course, it's dirty as hell for me and doing all that work on that mower, but it looks like it's been in the bag quite a while, so it's probably come from a machine shop somewhere. I bought that off eBay. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna start tearing this engine down to get this head off, and it probably won't be right now. I'll probably start in a few hours once this thing's cooled off a little bit. It's still pretty hot to the touch. It's got pressure on it too. I have had to add antifreeze a couple times before this happens. So I'm thinking I got something blown in it. I don't know if it's the water pump. I don't know if I'm gonna find the bottom end tore up. Don't know what we're gonna find in this thing. But my reason was, since I had already put and rebuilt the bottom end, it had to be in the head. Now it sounded almost like it's got a cracked head on it. That's what I'm thinking. These heads are notorious for cracking, and that's what it sounds like to me. But yeah, we'll have to get all this intake, exhaust, and all off. We'll pull the radiator and all that stuff. So stay tuned for that. And this is the intro video. So in part 1, we'll be disassembling this motor, getting the head off. In part 2, if it turns out to be the head, we'll be putting the head back on, the new head on, and putting it all back together and seeing how it runs.